Okay, everyone, we are here today with one of our clients, Alonzo Flores. How are you doing today, Alonzo?
I'm doing great today. Doing awesome.
Yeah, first off, thanks for taking the time to share your Turo journey and story with all of our viewers today. So, if you want to go into your background about how many cars you have, where you're located, and then what got you started in Turo, people would love to know.
Yeah, so I right now have currently 5 vehicles on Turo. I live North Dallas, Dallas, Texas. So that's the many vehicles that I have at the moment. How I got started on Turo was kind of, I don't know, a little different. So I was married and then I got divorced, and my ex-wife and me are like pretty much like best friends. So she had a vehicle under my name still, and it wasn't working well, and she didn't have a lot of money to fix it. And I told her, you know what, just give me the car back and just go get you a brand new car from the lot. She was going to trade it in. They're not going to give her a lot of money for it. And I said, just give me the car back. I have plenty of money. I can fix it. Don't worry about the car. I'm just going to do it as a favor for her. So now I shipped the
Mhm.
car over, I fixed it. I had a car in my hands and I'm paying for an extra car, an extra insurance payment. Now I'm like, man, what am I going to do with an extra car? So I was out jogging one day. I'm like, I wonder if I can rent this car somewhere. Never heard of Turo or the other ones out there. Never heard of it. So I was just thought like, man, I wonder if I can go if I can rent a car somewhere. I'm sure that by now our technology, there's somewhere that to do that. So I just Googled it. Can I rent a car somewhere? And then this whole world of Turo came about. And so that's how I kind of got into it by accident. I was like, I was actually thinking of maybe giving my car to my niece and have her take over the payments. I wasn't sure what to do with the car. So that's how it happened for me. I had an extra car in my hands and didn't know what to do and just Googled it, and boom, this whole entire world of Turo came up. So then I just pretty much dove into everything and anything, YouTube videos, about some courses, and I just decided to learn everything that I could about Turo and how to rent vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. And then after a while, that's when I ran into you guys. And this is like pretty much the only one service that I saw that would offer coaching, to coach somebody that's new to Turo. There's one other one, but they would charge like $1,000 for 1 hour of their time to just talk to you a little bit about your Turo business. So yeah, to find you guys a mentor service like this, and man, this is just awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been really exciting working with you, and I'm glad that you decided to work with us at carrentalcoach.com. As far as income goes, though, so did you have a full-time job when starting Turo?
I did have a full-time job, so I only had that one vehicle, and I put it on the platform. I started learning about it, some courses online, and I didn't get my company LLC or anything yet. I wanted to see if this was a business that I wanted to pursue or continue to doing. So I had it on there for a good 6, 7 months until I decided to, you know what, this is what I want to do, and that's why I went ahead and went forward with it. Once I decided I wanted to do it, that's luckily I found you guys pretty much at that time that I decided this is going to be my main income, my main focus. At that time, I had a little bit of money put away, and my bills were pretty low. So once I decided to go full time, I went ahead and just left my job. And with the money that I had plenty of money to survive for a while. And so I actually did. I went full force with one vehicle. I left my job and decided to go ahead and purchase more vehicles. And yeah, so right now I have 5 vehicles, and about another week or two, I'm probably thinking of purchasing another 2 or 3, or maybe even 4 more.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then you mentioned keeping your overhead low, and that was something that helped you at first. How important do you think it is for an entrepreneur, especially somebody like leaving a 9 to 5 job, to keep their overhead low when starting a new business venture?
So yeah, that's depending on each person. It will be different. Their financial situation, what their bills are, what their expenses are. You got to figure out if what you can do, what you cannot do. So if you need to keep your job, I would recommend just staying where you're at until you see the numbers come in where you can match what you make in your job or more. Then I would recommend maybe leaving your job. What I did, I had a little bit of money put away. My bills are pretty low, and plus, what I did for a living, it's very easy for me to get another job for what I was doing. So
Mm,
it's not that difficult for me to get a job, especially in a city like the size of Dallas, Texas. For me, it's pretty easy to go back. But again, I had money put away. My bills are very low. Um, so that was for me. Plus, also just a little something for some other Turo hosts to keep this in mind. And I actually, where I rent my apartment complex, I was just lucky that there's a street that runs right next to my apartment complex, and that whole one side of the street is public parking for anyone.
okay.
You don't have to be a member of the apartment complex. So I can easily park 20, 30 cars no without paying any parking at all. And it's right next to my apartment complex. So that was great for me right there.
That's fantastic with keeping the overhead low. Um, when you're looking for other ways to make money and starting your own business through Turo, what other uh, business ventures were you considering when looking at Turo, or was Turo the only one that really stood out to you?
So I've been I guess had the entrepreneurial bug for a long time now. I did open up my own website, drop shipping. I did that for a little
Mhm.
bit. So I educated myself on building websites and marketing, digital marketing. I've done a few things. I used to be a trader in the stock market as well. I traded for about 7 years. So I was a trader and an investor. I'm still an investor, but I traded for about 7 years. One of the most difficult things that I did. Never mastered it, but I've had my eyes on a couple of other things that I wanted to do. Airbnb was one that I kind of caught my eye. I was thinking about it
Mhm.
maybe, but don't know too much about it. But the way that I see Turo is very similar. But the only thing is, a vehicle is going to be a lot less expensive than having a house, an apartment. Maybe I don't know exactly how the numbers are over there. So I see this one is a little bit easier to get into, um, and it's pretty much. I think it's very. I mean, once you know what to do, get all the numbers and all the little details of bringing a car in and getting it
Mhm.
out, setting up the site. I think Turo is. I mean, it's still work. You have to do a lot of work. It's not, free money, but in my
Sure.
opinion, I think it's really, really, I guess, a better kind of a business than most other businesses to start for.
Yeah, what do you like about Turo versus some of those other businesses like drop shipping and trading stocks?
Oh man, Turo. I want to say so. Those businesses like trading in the stock market, you need to spend tons and probably hundreds of hours, if not in the thousands, learning, evaluating, and then finding a strategy that'll work for you. And it's not
Mhm.
100%. It's 90% of the traders lose money, 10% make money. But in Turo, as long as you, I guess, learn the business and learn your mistakes here and there, you'll do better and better and better. You'll get better at this and better at that, and the money starts coming in. Trading in the stock market is something either you master it or you don't. There's no getting better and better. It's you once you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, you can be trading for 20 years, 12 years, and you'll never get it. Um, Drop shipping, it I never got it. I never really got it. It was very hard at the beginning. I wasn't making money from the beginning. I was always losing money for a while, and it just wasn't profitable at all. And with Turo,
Mhm.
once I started doing this, even though I didn't know how to do all the little details and how to set up my profile correctly in the pictures and how to set up the time between rentals and stuff like that, I was still making a little bit of money from the start. And now that you guys help me modify and tweak this and do that and don't do this and set it up like that, like, man, my numbers just went straight up. But even without having everything, just kind of learning on my own, I was already making a little bit of money. So somebody just starting out doesn't know anything, long as you kind of, watch some videos and know what to do, you can start making a little bit of money right away and then eventually scale it where your profit is a lot higher. Your ROI is way, way better. But yeah, the tourism business you can start with and make money right away.
Yeah, those are some great points. And then when you were starting the Turo business, put yourself in the shoes you were in when you didn't even have a car. what was the biggest concerns you had about starting the business? What was like the biggest obstacles or scariest part of it?
Yeah. So, yeah, renting vehicles. I mean, the only experience I had is a long time ago when I rented a vehicle like at Enterprise, and that's it. I
Hmm.
was like, man, renting cars, like, I don't know anything about renting anything. I never rented anything before. Like, what if somebody crashes in my car? Or what's going to happen if somebody has an accident in my car? And also, what's going to happen then? I'm like, what about the insurance? I'm like, well, what insurance do I get? Who kind of covers this kind of business? It was a little scary. It was a little scary, and
Yeah.
like, how do I check in a customer? How do I check them out? Like, how many miles can they drive per day? Like, oh man, once I started thinking about it, like, there's a lot of details. Like, man, I really don't know anything. So, not knowing about insurance, about mileage, accidents. Accidents was one of the things that kind of scared me the most. I wasn't even sure
Mhm.
how I would deal with that or who I would contact or anything. So those are a few things that kind of scared me right before I started Turo. Just kind of watching YouTube videos. That's a few scary points for me.
Yeah, a good point. And as we've seen, working with your account and working with hundreds of other clients, and then obviously me doing thousands of trips through Turo and private rentals myself, insurance is definitely one of the biggest obstacles people have. One, winning insurance claims, and then two, really just understanding the process because it gets pretty complicated. Whether you're doing, just Turo rentals or you're doing private rentals, then there's off rental insurance. So there's a lot of different layers to it, and it's definitely can be overwhelming when somebody's first starting. So obviously, Turo is not just all rainbows and sunshine. What's your worst experience so far with a guest?
Worst experience with a guest. I really don't want to say. I don't want to say I had a really worst experience. I just had, I guess, different kinds of experiences. Well, right now I actually have my first. Not that I'm excited about it, but also already expecting it. And once it happens, it's in my mind it's kind of a good thing because I'll learn the whole process. So actually, right now I'm in the middle of my first accident claim.
Mhm.
Well, technically my second one. My very first one, the customer said, "Hey, somebody hit us from behind." Uh, I take pictures of the vehicle, and I was like, "Man, are you guys okay? Everybody all right?" "Yeah, we're fine." And then she sent me pictures of the car, and there is absolutely no damage anywhere. I was like, "Okay, maybe she just doesn't know how to take the picture." And when I got the car back, what happened? They had slightly hit her from behind, but the bumper is very rubbery, so it just popped
Mhm.
right back out, and you really can't see any damage on there. So when I got the vehicle, it had the bumper was a slightly moved like a quarter of an inch to the side compared to the rest of the vehicle. So there's really no damage to it. But the other insurance contacted me. They say, take pictures, and with the little thing they sent on the phone. Long
Mhm.
story short, I took as many pictures as I could. Some scratches that were on there from before, and just made it look like it was something bigger. So I actually got like $1,200 and something dollars for that, and the car was perfectly fine. It was just a little scratch on the side, and that was it. So that was technically my first claim, but I didn't really. They just went through the insurance. I didn't go through like Turo didn't really do much. They were just there as a third party. But
Yeah.
this was my first. This is my first big claim. They actually had an accident when they took a picture. It was a little chunk off of the bottom of the bumper, and now that I got it in, half of the bumper is gone now. So uh, big difference from the picture they took to
Yeah.
what I got now.
Yeah, never trust just what the guest says. I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just a little bit damage on the car, and then the car's been totaled." So, yep, that's why we take our own pictures and we trust but verify. That's smart. And then on the flip side, what would you say the best rental experience you've had so far is?
Man, I had either it's gonna be my second rental. Yeah, I would say that probably the best one. She rented the vehicle for 4 days. My very first second customer on Turo. She rented it for 4 days, and then she sent a message. I want to extend it for one more day. I was like, sure, that's fine. And then one more
Yeah.
day, that's fine. She kept doing this, and I looked at the calendar. She rented the car for like 30, 32 days total, starting for
Oh
only four
wow.
days to all the way to 30 to 31 days, something like that. that was awesome. That was like, I don't have to clean it, I don't have to check it, I don't have to do anything. It's just money day after day, making money, money after money, and not even have to worry about anything. She just keeps extending it. She didn't do a whole week. She just kept doing it day by day by day, and that happens a lot. So that was one of my best ones. I went from 4 day rental to like a 31 day rental. That was just
Oh,
awesome.
wow. Yeah, that's why I always open it up for some of those shorter term trips too, because you will get people in there that will extend daily, as we've both seen with our own fleets, which is incredible. And then what made you reach out to Car Rental Coach and work with us? Um, what inspired that?
That's a great question. So I any venture I go into, I always try to educate myself in everything. So when I got into Turo, I learned everything Turo, watch, of course, like they say, YouTube University, tons of
Hmm.
videos. I bought some courses. I went into business, how to run a business, business credits, everything that has to do with everything. So everything has to do with Turo and anything Turo's involved in. So courses, I bought two different courses. One was like for like $25, and the other one was for like $750. I
Hmm.
bought the courses, different courses, and I've been looking and wanting to do or some kind of mentorship. So when I used to trade in the stock market, I was able to find mentorship, and it's very limited to where anybody will actually mentor you like this. And actually, when I did it with them, it was a couple thousand per month, and all it was is them on the screen talking and about 150 of us messaging that person. There was no one on one.
So it was like a big group kind of thing where,
It
okay, did you get
was
access to speak with them and stuff, or was it pretty limited?
if they read your message, they'll read your message and reply to your message out of 125 to 150 of us.
So it's kind of like
That
being in a big college audit, yeah, where it's hard to get the professor
yes,
to respond. Yeah.
so nothing like one on one. So when I found you guys, like wow, I read your everything on your website. I was like, wow, one on one. I was like, man, there's not like 20, 30, or 100 of us talking to one person. I was like, no, it's just one on one. I'm like, man, this is priceless. With you guys have learned in the time that you've been doing this, all the ins and outs, and you figured out all the little details and the amount of vehicles that you have, the things you're gonna run into, employees, parking, tons of things. That's the knowledge right there. You can't go and buy it anywhere. There's no college or university that gives this. This is invaluable. This is priceless. So this is the only one that I
Yeah.
found with you guys. So I was just super happy that it exists, and I was able to get in with you guys. So yeah, this right here, talking to you, you asking you a question like, oh yeah, I done this, 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I did this last week or when I first started. That's priceless.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And that's why we developed Car Rental Coach, because we believe that group coaching is way less effective than being able to work with somebody one on one that's actually doing it and running the business. And for anybody watching this video, if you want to work with us one on one, we are pretty selective with who we work with. You have to be somebody that's going to move forward and actually do the business, get cars on the road and rent them. We don't work with people that waste time or they're still on the fence about doing this business. We want people that are going to, perform like how you have, Alonzo, get the cars, get them rented. But if you are somebody that's serious and a very motivated person, you can fill out our quick 60-second survey on carrentalcoach.com and see if you do qualify to work with us. And if you do, you'll work with us one on one, just like Alonzo. But Alonzo, what's a piece of advice you would give to somebody starting out on Turo? Something that maybe you would have overlooked when you first started and didn't realize.
Something I would have overlooked. Oh man, you got me on that one. I want to say you're well actually that I didn't know this, but once I learned it, I'm like, man, I had no idea. I would have done this a long time ago. It was something so small and simple. Pictures, everything else is good. Most people know how to do that. But your time, your what is it called when you book somebody books it and they have
Trip
so much.
preferences and how we, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I had no idea how much that meant. Once I shortened mine was like 12 hours. I just didn't know exactly what to do. Once I shortened it to like the shortest, like it was 1 hour and 30 with 3 hours in between rentals. Man, that made a world of difference. I started getting bookings after bookings faster and faster. My Mondays and Tuesdays were the hardest. Now I get bookings, most of the time. I would say a good 70% more bookings than I had before. It made a world
Yeah.
of difference. Just
Oh yeah.
that little tweak right there.
Yeah, no, availability in this business is everything. We want to keep the cars on the road and rented nonstop. We want to forget what they look like eventually. Um,
I Let me
yeah,
jump in real quick. I just want to share this. Since I did that, where it's available, they can pick it up within an hour. I want to say now, for the last 2, 3 weeks, I want to say about 60% of my renters rent and pick it up within the hour.
yeah, which is
So
pretty amazing.
yes.
All right, then Alonzo, just some for closing thoughts. If you were to talk to somebody, they reached out to you, they heard your story on this YouTube channel, and say there's somebody that's working a full-time job, but they've always straddled the fence between working a full-time job and being an entrepreneur. What piece of advice or encouragement would you give them to start building their Turo fleet while maybe even working their job and then really diving into entrepreneurship? What would you tell them?
Having your job is great. You have a paycheck coming in. That's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with having a job. There's nothing wrong with working. But once you switch over to become an entrepreneur and start your own business, it is a world of difference. It is very different. You are now money is working for you. You're not working for money anymore. Turo is one business that you can start that I've seen is very doable. And switching over from your 9 to 5 to having your own business, it'll make a world of difference in your life. I am just loving it. I'm learning everything about it. Keeping your job for a little while and starting the business probably smart. Once you start seeing the
Mhm.
numbers come in, and you can scale it. Once you start seeing your numbers, how much you make per week, every 2 weeks, every month, and once you get a vehicle, how much it'll cost you, the car insurance, your car wash, and your parking or whatever you're paying. Put those numbers in together. You can figure out the math. Once you see that, you'll see that the way I see it is once I get a new vehicle, is like I gave myself a raise. That's
Mhm.
the way I see it. I get a new vehicle. Yes, I have to pay the vehicle because I still finance my vehicle. So I got the finance, the insurance. I have to pay the GPS tracker and the car wash. So those are the
Mhm.
four things that I pay for. But after that, I see the numbers of my other vehicles. I was like, man, this is very doable. So that's kind of like a little raise that I gave myself when I get a new car. But yeah, switching over from your 9 to 5 to getting your own business, I would say stay with your business. I'm sorry, stay with your job until you start seeing the numbers even up, and then eventually you can surpass your 9 to 5, the income coming in. Then I would suggest maybe um, doing the very scary thing and saying goodbye
Mhm.
to the 9 to 5 and going to 100% entrepreneur.
Yeah, which takes some courage to do, but definitely a rewarding journey. Well, thank you for your time today, Alonzo, and sharing your story. Very inspirational how you took that chance with your business. And it's been great working with you. And I know this is just the beginning for you. I see you surpassing 10, 20 cars in no time, the way you've been moving. So it's been inspirational to see. And guys, if you have any questions for Alonso, you can comment down below. Anything maybe you'd want him to answer, we'll check back with him and ask. And then maybe we'll even do a follow-up video a year from now to see where his fleet's currently at. And as always, guys, if you do want to work with us one-on-one, you can go to carrentalcoach.com, fill out our quick 60-second survey to see if you qualify. And if you do, we'll work with you one-on-one. Thanks again, Alonso. And guys, if you like stories like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.